So, continuing where we left off, we're still on chapter 2, the section 2.3, all right. And then we were talking about the conversions or the equalities between the different units, the prefixes. So 1000 meters is the kilometer, 1000 liters is the kiloliter, 1000 grams, kilogram, and so on. All right. So the prefix kilo, the numeric value is 1000 compared to the base unit. All right. These are some daily values for different nutrients. Now the key thing here is the ones that are in milligrams, for example, as you can see here, they're called as the macronutrients. And the ones listed in micrograms or MCG is another abbreviation. Okay, it means microgram, MCG. Those are the micronutrients. All right, so the micronutrients are essential too, but as you can see, in smaller amounts. Okay, fill in the blanks with the correct prefix. So 1000 meters is a kilometer. All right, so kilo. 1,000th of a gram, right? So 1,000th of a gram is a milligram. Okay, so M, a small m. 100th of a meter is centimeters, C. Okay. So when do you need these really small measurements? All right, when you're measuring something very small, so it's more appropriate to use the smaller measurements. All right, if you're measuring the width of hair or the diameter of a vein and so on, all right, then of course you won't use a larger unit of measurement like the kilometer or even meters. All right, you go to very small units like the millimeter and so on. Okay, and the width of hair, of course, micrometer probably, because of it's so tiny. Okay, so again, the equivalence is that if it's 100 centimeters, we are talking about like the meter stick, right? That was 100 centimeters. So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. All right, so they are describing the same length. All right, 1000 millimeters, again 1 meter. All right, so this is the meter stick. All right, so whether you describe it as being 1000 millimeters or 100 centimeter, you're describing the same length. All right, 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. Okay, and so on. So some of the volume equalities: 1 liter is 1000 mils. Okay, the deciliter is 100 mil. 1 liter is 10 deciliter, and so on. Okay, some test values for different substances in blood. At this point, you just note the type of measurements. All right, you're doing a mass to volume measurement here. How much mass of each substance per deciliter of blood. All right. Volume measurements can be kind of related to length, in the sense that you know that the liter and then the milliliter are volume measurements. All right, but 1 centimeter cube is 1 mil. All right, therefore if you multiply this by 1000, right, 1000 centimeter cube or 1000 cc or 1000 mil is 1 liter. All right, so how is length and volume connected? So if you have a little cube which is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, all right, a solid object, all right, its volume is length times width times height, so that's 1 centimeter cube. Now this space here is equivalent to 1 mil, all right? So if you pour some liquid into the space here inside the cube, that would be 1 mil as shown here on the syringe. So 1 mil is equal to 1 centimeter cube or 1 cc. Now if you have a larger cube which takes 1,000 of these small cubes, all right, so you have 1,000 of these small cubes making up a larger cube, all right. So that cube has sides of 10 centimeters. So 10 by 10 by 10, that's 1,000 centimeter cube. 10 centimeters, as you can recall, is 1 decimeter, all right. So basically 1 decimeter cube is 1,000 centimeter cube. 1,000 centimeter cube is 1,000 mils. 1,000 mils is a liter, all right. So 1 decimeter cube is 1 liter or 1,000 centimeter cube, okay. Now how about if you had even a bigger cube than this, all right, like a tanker, all right, size of a tanker, and that had a larger side, and that side was meter, all right, so 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, a meter cube, okay. Now meter cube is in terms of centimeter, it's 100 centimeter, all right. So like a decimeter is 10, this is for a meter it would be 100, okay. So 100 by 100 by 100, that's a million centimeter cube, all right. So million centimeter cube, that's 1,000 liters, and therefore 1,000 liters is a kiloliter. You might have to spend a little bit of time and look at this to try to kind of understand this, okay, the equivalence between these different units, especially in terms of volume, and the centimeter cubes, the length units, all right, because this can get pretty confusing, and getting a good visual about this and understanding this is extremely helpful. So when you visit a doctor, he or she will record your mass in kilograms. However, when you're doing tests, since the amount of substances, the blood proteins or whatever, glucose or whatever they're measuring is in such small amounts, then of course they're not going to measure that in kilograms. It's going to be in micrograms or mcg, okay. So it depends on what you're measuring, and the stuff, if it is more, then it's going to you have to use a bigger unit. If it is very little, then you'll have to use smaller units of measurement. Okay, identify the larger unit in each of the following: millimeter or centimeter. So there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter, all right. So therefore the centimeter is the larger unit. Kilogram or centigram. Okay. There is 100 centigrams to a gram, right? And then there's 1,000 grams to a kilogram. So the kilogram is definitely bigger. There's 10 power 5 centigrams to a kilogram. Okay. Milliliter or microliter. There's 1,000 microliter in a milliliter. All right. So the milliliter is the larger unit. MCL is again the microliter. Microliter to a kiloliter. All right. So there is 1,000,000 microliter to the liter, and then 1,000 liters to a kiloliter. So there's 1,000,000,000 microliter in a kiloliter. Okay, so the kiloliter is bigger. All right, so answer questions 2.1, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 and 2.8 on page 35, as well as answer the questions 2.29 to 2.42 and on page 39 for extra practice. All right, I will end the video here and continue with the next sections in the next video.